to Similarly Different. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Similarly Different. It's a solo week and I've really been talking to you guys on DMs. I love hearing from you guys as well as just talking to my girlfriends on topics that I feel need to be talked about more openly. And something that I've dealt with, almost every single one of my friends has dealt with, and I hear the conversation happen generation after generation, is body dysmorphia. I think there's a big taboo on talking about it. There's an idea of weakness if we talk about it, insecurity of if it's going to be cringe. So right now, specifically in the season that we're in the time of the year, I feel like this is a new chapter for a lot of us. Maybe you're going into school, maybe you're starting a new semester, maybe you're starting a new job, or honestly just trying to survive. Because this awkward in between before the holidays, I feel it's really hard, especially also another time in the year is probably right before summer, because this expectation of how we're supposed to look. And with every new season comes the pressure of looking your best. And I think as I get older, it's not really the pressure of the outside of looking your best, but the pressure that I put on myself of where I think I should be at, whether that's financially, career, or even body. So what happens when that pressure just doesn't come from social media or doesn't come from outside, but comes even louder from the voice within? It's really what I want to talk about, because I've dealt with this and I've somewhat managed it now, but it has been debilitating at times in my life, and very few people even know about that. So it starts with controlling and how you see yourself, or even if you show up at all for yourself. And if you haven't, it's okay. This is not about, oh, I've always been hard on myself, I must be dumb. No, this is about how to navigate it in a better way now that you're listening to this episode. Now, body dysmorphia, for many people that do or don't deal with it, have this idea that it's vanity, that it's superficialness, and it's actually not. It's distress. I looked up online the actual term of it scientifically with a psychologist, and it says it's when the appearance of related thoughts become intrusive. They become exhausting. They can take over your entire day before you've even had coffee. I don't know if any of you guys have ever woken up because of whatever is going on in your life. But there's been times when I was growing up on a dance team, or I was signed to a modeling agency, or even just social media, and I was going through a breakup at the time, and maybe the girl that my ex was entertaining at that time looked and perceived herself a certain way, that I would wake up at times with this debilitating anxiety the moment I was like, it's a new day. And obviously that anxiety can come from many things in your life. Like I said, it could be from work. It doesn't have to be from body dysmorphia, but there has been times where I've been analyzing and critiquing myself so intensely that the moment I would wake up, instead of it being a new day, it was like, here I go facing this again. And it's the dislike in within ourselves, which really, when we look back at it, and I look back at myself, it's so sad to know that we talk, we think, and we, do voice talks about ourselves in that way. But here's the thing. The flaw that you see in the mirror might be completely invisible to everyone else. And it feels so real to us, to you, that a lot of the times it's hard for other people to truly grasp what you are seeing. I remember growing up, I used to always mention the movie Shallow Hal. If you haven't seen that movie, it's a really good, 2000, late 90s movie where a guy dates a woman and he falls so enamored with her that he has this idea that she looks like a supermodel, top model person. And the whole time in the relationship, she's so confused as to why this guy, this hunk, for better terms, has liked her. And he just sees the beauty within her, only to find out that later on, she's actually a bigger girl, a plus size girl, but it's because he loved her and that's how he sees her. And, they always say we as women love seeing men with rose-colored glasses, or men sometimes at bars see girls with beer goggles, in whatever term is like the negative to positive to them, whether it be visually, whether it be appearance, whether it be hygiene, whatever it is, For women, I can speak for me. I've definitely looked at men with rose-colored glasses, not necessarily for their appearance, but maybe ignoring the red flags. So in this, I feel like sometimes we don't even give ourselves the ability to, one, look at ourselves authentically, but two, we don't even give ourselves the grace to look at ourselves with rose-colored glasses at times. Now, social media plays obviously a big part in body dysmorphia, but we'll talk about that in a moment. I want to share with you guys something that happened to me. So if you go down my Instagram, it's very rare in general that you see me with bathing suit pictures, but I want to say it was 2017 or 2018, I got invited to a Vegas trip with a few friends. We were shooting for MGM. And it was like an all-paid trip. We were going to go to a Manny Pacquiao fight. MGM was filming like a girls' trip. We were going to have all these great access to like restaurants and day clubs and, you know, experience Vegas like never before. And it was such a cool commercial opportunity. And, you know, it was genuinely for friends of mine that I was really close with at the time. And the crazy thing is that on that trip, I had an entire complete breakdown. And only one of my friends knows about this breakdown, but I remember that we had a break and we were able to go hang out at the pool. Now, up to this part of this trip, we were wearing dresses, we were wearing PJs, we were wearing casual clothes. So when it got to the part that we were able to go hang out in the pool, everybody was putting on bathing suits. And I fixed my hair, I fixed my makeup, I put on the bathing suit that I had brought, which I had never tried on, which is another mistake too. I feel like when you're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and you have things that you deal with like body dysmorphia, make sure that you pack something that you truly feel comfortable in your skin with. So I had taken a two-piece because I knew all these girls were going to wear bikinis as well. So I just wanted to be, you know, one with the crew. I put on this two-piece and I remember walking downstairs and I was feeling insecure, and the girl that I was the least closest to, I was like, you know, she has freaking no flaw in her body, so beautiful. And I said, do you think like I look okay in this bathing suit? And I don't think she meant wrong from it, but she said, you look good, but you can definitely tone up a little bit. It looks like you have like a little bit of like wiggly skin in your stomach. Y'all don't understand what this did to me. I remember we were in front of the elevator to this day when this happened. And this is not sharing this story at all to badmouth her or anything. She did not mean wrong from it. You also don't know. When you're dealing with body dysmorphia, there's two things that happen. One, when the person opens up, they are wanting some sort of consolation, but no consolation also is going to make them feel better unless they truly believe it. You also don't know when you're voicing it if you're going to get consolation or if the statement from the other person is going to feel like an added trigger or a dismissed type of feeling. On the other end, this other person has no idea what I'm battling, what I'm dealing with. So they are just talking from a normal conversation of maybe being that friend that gives you hard criticism to just make you feel better. They could think that something as light as that is like, but it's normal. Everybody has, you know, wiggly or, you know, fluff skin here and there. But that made me spiral privately for so long that by the time we walked outside, every single mirror or reflection that I could look at, I was looking at. And I just kept remembering the movie Shallow Hal and how I just felt like Fiona in that moment. And everybody is beautiful from every different shapes and sizes, but how I see myself was to a regard that was so bad. There could be a lineup in that very moment of women of all different sizes, and I could tell you why each of those women were beautiful. Their shapes, their sizes, their features. But when it came to me, it was such a personal self problem that I really lacked in self-love. I really lacked in self-value. I really lacked in being able to be kind to myself. And in that moment, it was a full trigger. We ended up going by the pool and the other three girls were there. And again, beautiful girls. In my eyes, all different sizes, heights, shapes, body types, but they looked perfect in their bodies. And I remember sitting down by the beach chair and they were like, we're going to go take pictures in the water. Do you want us to take pictures for you too? And I said, actually, I forgot something in my room. Let me go upstairs and come back. I went upstairs and I cried for 4 hours until one of my friends texted me, I think like an hour and a half in, and she was like, hey, you never came back. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just need some time to, I like made up an excuse. I don't remember what the excuse was, but I was like, I need some time. She ended up feeling like something was off and came to my room and was like, what's going on? And she saw me how I was bawling. And she was like, wait, what is going on? And I said, I feel like I am bulging out of this bathing suit. I feel like I can't even sit down without feeling like my skin is so elastic that you guys are probably judging it. I see every single person, whether I know them or not, walking past me, and I'm like, wow, they're so beautiful. Why do I feel this way? Why do I look this way? My skin is crawling. And nothing that she could tell me in that moment could make it feel better. Not her trying to validate me, not her saying that I look beautiful. Like, my brain couldn't grasp it. And I think that it's so debilitating. I started like shaking, I was sweating. The people that don't deal with body dysmorphia really can't understand that. So I hope that if you deal with body dysmorphia in this episode, you feel seen right now, you feel heard, and that you actually feel like there is some relatability in times where you felt that. But at the end of this episode, you'll be able to feel like, okay, I know how to move through it now, because she even was able to move through it. Now, back to school pics, first day of work fits, holiday glow ups, girl trips, birthday trips. All of this is a highlight reel that is literally in our face 24/7. And it's really hard to not compare yourself, because the reality is there is so much content being thrown at us, whether you create the content or not, 24/7. And I think that to compare your life to somebody else's perfectly filtered reality is such a hard thing to do, and such a cruel thing to do to ourselves, that as we get older, or as it's been mentioned to the forefront of your face more now, I think it's something that we have to create a reset button to be able to remind ourselves, because it's not reality. And I know that a lot of the times people don't realize that, but it's truly not. Just a few days ago, I had a really stressful situation happen, and when I tell you, I broke out horribly, and it was from the stress. I had entire cystic acne down here. There was nothing that I could do to avoid it. My face looked puffy. I had breakouts all in the side of my cheeks. It was just something and I say from a horror movie, because of the fact that I did not have that a day and a half before. It wasn't like I was currently dealing with it and I was trying to figure out how to make this go away. It came from one night to the other. And I think that in different ways, it will trigger my body dysmorphia and this idea of like, wait, what just happened? But I literally told myself, you gotta be calm, you gotta be kinder to yourself. Like, you're a freaking human, and things happen. Now, if you're dealing with that and you're feeling this pressure of going to a birthday, going to take school pics, being in an environment that is going to trigger you, again, something as simple as making sure that whatever you're going to put on, you truly feel comfortable. If you're more covered up, who cares? That's what you feel comfortable with. But as long as you feel comfortable, you'll be confident. And also not allowing other people to have the amount of pressure and control over your life that you're giving to them. Now, some tools that actually help me is movement. If you guys have seen me, I have started with a strength trainer, and it's not because of the number of the scale. I actually stopped weighing myself, and I found out recently that I really have only lost 5 pounds while training with my trainer, but it's about how my body feels, being able to see muscles show, being able to see definition. It's something that I can see that I'm proud of myself. Now, I'm not doing what some people do, which is put themselves through rigorous work schedule and become obsessed with that, but I am liking to see a soft level of improvement little by little by me just showing up for myself more and not having this idea of how my body is going to look, because at the end of the day, we all have different composition, and that's beauty in itself. As long as I'm doing better for myself in a healthy way, that's been helping me. So for you, it could be yoga on a Sunday morning, walking with weights while listening to a podcast, or maybe a HIIT session to make you truly feel strong, that that whether you have flabby skin because you had a baby, whether you have flabby skin because you lack elasticity, you're still showing up for yourself and doing what you can for yourself. It's about how your body feels and not how it looks. And I think as we get older, we truly start, at least for myself, I've truly started trying to implement that and tell that to myself, not in a way where I'm just saying it, but truly starting to believe it, because you're not going to talk the way that you talk to yourself the way you do to your best friend. Now, some of you guys may be like, well, that girl talked to you that way. She didn't mean harm from it. So I'm not going to go and make her the bad guy in the story, because she genuinely did not mean harm from it. Now, when we want to talk about my dance teacher, now that's a whole other story, because growing up in middle school, my dance teacher was like, you grew them hips, girl. I don't know how you expect to be the girl that's lifted in contemporary when you're growing these hips and this butt. Obviously, those type of things is things that 1000% need to be changed, whether it be in the school system, in a dance world, and also how to figure out how to filter that so that it doesn't create a narrative and the identity of who you are becoming. But for me, movement has really been stop about punishing myself and starting to find a connection within myself. Yoga and all these things, whatever it is that you choose to do, is just how can you calm your nervous system and actually hold yourself accountable to see results from the work that you're putting in. Now, if you're in a new season of your life, school, work, or just the last sprint before the year ends and the holiday season is about to come, just remember, your worth is not in the mirror. It is how you live, you love, and how you show up for yourself. Now, you deserve to take up the space that exactly you are. And if you're able to see the people around you beautiful, then you should be able to see that within yourself. And if you are being as critical to not see everyone else, including yourself, beautiful, therapy is always self-work that is going to work. Mirror work, giving yourself affirmations, as well as starting to consolidate the group around you and see, is it conversations that you're having? Are, sometimes it's limiting conversations that you have with even family members. I have a few friends that their parents have been very critical with them since they were small, and they've had to create some boundaries in what conversations they have with them because they never feel like they're perfect enough for their family members. For those that look up to a lot of celebrities, I want to let you know about a few celebrities that have opened up about body dysmorphia. Lana Condor, she quit ballet and swears by kind self-talk. You wouldn't talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself. Lily Reinhart has opened up about skin-related body dysmorphia since middle school. Another known name that you guys may know of and has been vocal about her body dysmorphia when it comes to her skin was Kendall Jenner, that turns into meditation and to her inner circle to be able to lean on. Now, I know that not everybody has a really positive or inviting inner circle that you can talk about topics like this, which is why therapy is always a good option as well. And Jameela Jamil uses EMDR to be able to help with hers. So just know that other people are going through it, even if they don't always show it. So be kinder to yourself, because that's all you can do and that's all you have control over. And for you to feel better and look better, you have to start within. So I think that from this short episode that I just wanted to talk to you guys about is whether you've dealt with body dysmorphia your whole life, whether you've had it in different seasons, or maybe you're dealing with it now for the first time. Be kinder to yourself like you would to your bestie. You would never talk like that to your best friend or maybe even your younger sister. Find habits that are going to give you results to be able to calm your mind, calm your nervous system, but also you're able to see change and be proud of yourself. Stop comparing yourself to social media. I get it. It's so much easier said than done. But finding little habits, whether it's timing yourself on social, unfollowing certain accounts that really just don't make you feel good, retrieving, if you don't want to unfollow, mute the accounts. You have to create a space that is healthy for you and that is safe for you to be able to find yourself through the journey that you're going through. And just know that people that you may even look up to and aspire to be like may actually be more similar than different when it comes to things like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there's any tips that help you in this journey, that have helped you throughout this experience that you've gone through throughout your life, or if there's any other topics that you want to talk about. But feel free also to DM me. I always love talking to you guys. Until next time, bye.